talk about. But again, as they go, some of these they are native in the land. Some people they come take them over, and as the matter be, they don't move those people come out, and they affect not just only their land, it they affect their culture and their tradition as well. Because as they move, some of their culture get they mix with other people culture, and then they forget some of their own culture and their own way of life as the matter take be. Take for instance, you understand, say you get some languages now where they talk say you don't even almost enter extinction.
They're going to extinction. Yes.
Some of those languages it go hard you to see person where you speak some of those languages again. Like take for instance, some of our own languages here as the matter be, you understand. Most of us now, or some people now just English. That's a be.
True.
You ask person, okay, this one, he go respond to you with English, and you go understand. What's be your name? He go tell you say, my name na Azi, and Azi now only English they talk. You don't sabi your native language. So how the matter take be? All this one na part of what would they talk about. So it not just only come in terms of say maybe now only migration in terms of movement, leaving your communities or this one, or maybe leaving your place of abode. Sometimes it they come as psychological displacement, whereby okay your native languages and others that they also be affected by this westernization too. Again, now part of what would they talk about. And as the matter take be again, they say Nigeria is the most populous black nation.
Yes.
And now we plenty pass, and as we say we plenty pass, we get different. In fact, we get a lot of native languages and tribes for this particular Nigeria. Some of them don't enter into extinction. Some of them actually now they're in danger of going into extinction. So what we go take do to avoid some of these native languages to go into extinction? All now we they talk about for this program today. So we ensure say okay, we they teach our children some of these languages. Not be say only English. English have good. We know say English good. We pay to go school to go learn English, but some of those languages we guess they teach our children too, so that at least they go fit remember all these our native languages to now part of life, and our waiting define us as a people be that not be only our community, but everything work together define us. Here these people like from this place they come from, their name, their languages, their food, their culture, their tradition, and everything, and they use identify them, say that these people be this.
True. Just a bit. He said something very, very true, and I agree with you. And on this village square, if there's something we celebrate, is that we celebrate nativity. We don't really celebrate nativity. We are also components of preserving nativity. That is, every nation has its native people. Every land has its native people, and we celebrate that. And as we do that, we come together to achieve that. And on this village square, sometimes if you have listened to us, we come up with Hausa, we come up with English, we come up with different tribes. Maybe one of these days you speak to us in Yoruba, and I can come speak in my dialect too. Yes, again, we said something very important, and in Nigeria we are aware that we have at least 371 tribes in this country. And looking at that, it is only that if you want to understand Nigeria, now you should bring all of these people's faces, merge them together in one, and you understand that our strength is in our diversity. And that is why we are being reckoned as the world's most populous black nation. So that if Nigeria cough, the nations of the earth will get black people, it must shake. In fact, almost every nation must shake. Now, we as indigenous people again in this country, we have had challenges over time, and some of these challenges are, like we said, first we said migration. We are aware that if today, Joseph, I tell you, say I don't get visa to go America or to go Canada now. Now Thanksgiving we go do for church.
We go do very well. In fact, we go even call a lot of we'll cook a lot of food and eat, celebrate with you.
But that's not supposed to be the case. That's not supposed to be the case. And we also related that because we have not gotten enough from our nation. People celebrate living outside the shores of this country. And if you have been following uh, a NAPTIP, if you be following the immigration programs, you see a lot of Nigerians who who become victims of trafficking because they want to migrate and leaving their homeland. A lot of people become victims of lose their lives on the Mediterranean Sea. Everybody wants to cross into Europe. A lot of people want to cross that, and having studied that, first we realize that these people are looking for a better pasture, and some people are running away from conflict. Now, we cannot leave this program, or we have to talk about conflict and how conflict has caused the worst indigenous people to be displaced. And this is not only peculiar to Nigeria alone, it is also peculiar to the Middle East. You find a huge population from that region moving into Europe. But again, let's talk from our home ground. We have had a lot of displaced persons in Nigeria. In fact, from recent statistics, we have over 2 million displaced persons. Over. I mean, this is just from a few years. Over 2 million displaced persons in Nigeria, and this is associated to the conflict in the northeastern region of the country. Again, it is also associated to now what we have as banditry and kidnappings in parts of northwest and the north central. It has also been caused by attacks by militia. Some people call them herdsmen in different places, parts of this country. Now we have had attacks over and again, and these people seem to be losing their lands by the day. I went visited a community last week where there was an attack, and these people are now internally displaced. True life for this matter. Make you shook mouth for this matter.
Well, the matter touch and the matter choke very, very well, because na matter with the pain person. As you take talk, some of these communities, based on say this attack where they go on, they don't get displaced, some of them the internally displaced persons camps. And some of them kukuma no fit go back their communities, and some of them their communities totally safe, they no fit even go back there again. Now very touching matter, and we pray say God go intervene for this matter. But beyond that, we go still call on government, may they do may they sit up, because this International Day of Indigenous People, what they talk about this year, the team says the team at NBC leaving no one behind, indigenous people, and they call for a new social contract. Say okay, even the indigenous people need social contracts, because okay, why they need the social contract? Social contract is okay, waiting we need from government.
Yes,
Part of waiting government supposed to do. Good. So now this one be the social contract where would they talk about okay, the indigenous people self they need. Part of the social contract be say okay, government need provide security for them.
Protection.
Government need provide protection for them, even in their communities, in terms of say okay, the security in those communities, in those native communities. Government need provide securities for them. And again, part of the protection be say again, government go do laws and policies we go ensure say this native, especially this native sites, some of these native sites, maybe this Pandan Game Reserve,
Yes.
You go see say if you go there, a lot of things don't the pafuka for that place. You understand?
There have been encroachment, there have been felling of economic trees, there have been, a lot of illegal activities going on there.
So person go talk say government don't know what they go on there. Government know what they go on there now. But what we talk about, we say part of this social contract, we say government go sit up. You understand? Do what things government supposed to do in terms of protection, in terms of making those right laws and policies, and in terms of implementing those laws where they don't do. so that e no go just be say they just talk am for mouth and they no do anything. So that government go dey put eye dey torchlight those some of those issues wey dey happen for those places to protect some of those places, because some of these sites sef e dey very important in terms of protecting cultural and tribal
and also religious sites.
and also religious sites. E dey very
Very
important.
important.
All na part of wetin we dey talk about. Okay, the people need this social contract with the government to ensure say okay, government protect them again. And part of wetin we talk about be say again, this traditional institution, they suppose give them their own relevance,
True.
even for governance.
True.
You understand? Because now part of all this what we talk about in terms of these indigenous people, every people get their own traditional setup. So government need give these people the right recognition in terms of saying allocation of resources, even with from those ones where they get from their own community. Government need do all this. Now part of this social contracts we will talk about be this. And again, before I hand over to my Oga John, it could be say we need to talk about our history very well. So that if we know our history, we will fit teach our children, and our children self go fit teach their own children. E no go be say some people go come, they no even know where they come from, and if you don't know where they come from, you no go even know. E go hard you to know where they go.
True.
So it is very important say we know our history as native people, as indigenous people, and then we teach our own children again. It is very, very important.
Joseph, you talk something we touch me well. Now, here's something I want to talk, or there's something I want to also talk about. Make I speak the Weibo English. Now, access to resources most of the time is key to, and it's supposed to be part of what the other end of the society is supposed to enjoy. You talked about social contract. Now, looking at social contract, the social contract is supposed to be between two persons, two groups. Now, the governed and the government, those who are governing us and those who are following. Now, the aspect of that, the followers, is to ensure that they select or they elect the right people into government. Now, the end of the government now, what the government is supposed is to provide the basic necessities. When we talk about basic, we talk about water, we talk about protection, we talk about food, we also talk about shelter to a certain degree. Then we talk about structural infrastructures, we talked about health infrastructures, we talk about education too. Now, as indigenous people of Nigeria, or as indigenous people of Plateau State, not only indigenous too, even if you migrated from one part of the country to another part, you are still an indigenous of this nation. However, like you've said, we've not seen government doing enough. Now, on our own part, as citizens, we have a responsibility to the government and to the society. And one of these things, as I've earlier read from the beginning, that environmental protection is a responsibility for all. It's a responsibility for the government, and it's also a responsibility for the people. Again, the protection of life and property is a responsibility to the government. And when we don't protect life and property of the people, you realize that access to resources will not be there. Take for example, we are in the farming season now, and people cannot access their farms again. Now, production of food is on the low, simply because the indigenous people of these lands cannot go back to their farms. They are being attacked by so-called strangers, or by a militia, or by herdsmen, as we have them, as other people have them, and it has become worrisome. It has become a thing of concern. And our plea on this square today, and what we'll be living with on this village squares, that please, those in authority, those in charge of these agencies, please make sure you come to the aid of the indigenous people of Nigeria. Come to the aid of the indigenous people of Plateau State, because at the end of the day, the whole circle will be affected. Because if one person is affected, almost all of us are affected in one way or the other. Now, to ensure that every indigenous person listening be part of this program, we want to ask that you call the number 081 000 81124. Let me take it again. To be part of this conversation, call the number 081 00 08 1124. Let us get your thoughts on what we've been discussing today. We've talked about our history, we've talked about preserving nativity, we highlighted on migration. Now we've highlighted on displacement of people. We are talking about protection of life and property of the indigenous people of Nigeria. So if there's a call, yes, we have a call. All right. So we want you to be part of this program. I will take the number again: 081 00 0811. Please 8124. Please, as you call us, make sure you are in a quiet environment and let's tell us your name and your location. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you very much. My name is from
Sadiq Umar from TTNT.
Yes, thank you very much. I commend you for your comment and so in Nigeria. One of the cause was that people was living in his community. But as in Nigeria, no matter how your culture is, you have to adopt other people's culture because of Nigeria saying that they are from one place to another. So anyway, you go to see a different culture that those people have. And this environment, you have to each other culture because each other culture must be open. That will say we have a good community. In terms of migration now, if you are migrating from your place to another people's place, you have to put in mind that you are going to meet different culture. Where you are going to, they will have different culture, and you have to abide by those people's culture so that it will be very, they have a peaceful stay with them. But if you are not obeying people's culture, that's where we will be having sentiment and problem with the Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you, Sadiq, for that wonderful contribution. Yes, Joseph, we have another call.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, John Ross and your guest. It's Radio Mama. I don't know, calling from myself.
Good morning.
Let's get something straight. You see, there's a difference between migrating to a place, and migrating to a place to claim the place. You understand now? Like Igbos, we are Igbos. And the last thing an Igbo man will do is to go and migrate to another place and claim it. Even in death, when they are alive, they will tell you carry my corpse back home. Except if there's maybe the suicide bombing and the person died and you cannot identify him. I hope you understand what I'm saying. So that is the cost of the matter. And the laws of the land help to make all these definitions. So the problem we have in Nigeria is that we don't have clear-cut laws. So you're talking about history there. When the history is told in another way, what do you expect? Somebody migrates to a place, he met people there, and then he said he's an indigenous. I even heard some people on the people at the helm of affairs saying that once they are there, they have become indigenous. You know what I'm saying? That is what is the cause of the matter. Let's get to the root cause of the matter. Until that is dealt with, we are going to continue having all these conflicts we're having in Nigeria. And it's not as if people don't know it. They know it, but they don't want to address it. Then the indigenous themselves did not even help matters. Or maybe they were, naive. On the outset, when it started, they accepted it like that. Sometimes even some of them were giving an indigenous certificate and all that. I'm aware of that because I've been here for more than 2 decades. Then after they started withdrawing, and you know what I'm talking about. So that is it. And so those things, it is not something that we continue to have this conflict. Then the language thing. Language is part of culture, and that language, it starts from the home. The home is the first school. Parents will teach their children their indigenous languages. You can adopt another language, Nigerian language as your lingua franca, but that indigenous one, your children should know it.
Yeah.
So that's where, let me stop there. I hope you get what I'm saying. God bless Nigeria. Let's not give up on this country.
God bless you, Radio Mama. She always close by saying, let's not give up on this country. Yes. Joseph, two people don't bring two very important matters.
Very big matter.
See, Sadiq said when you're coming into a place, you have to understand and sometimes adopt the people's culture. If you cannot adopt the people's culture, if you cannot understand it, you say respect other people's culture. And if I respect your culture and you respect my own, conflict no go dey.
That's so.
Shey you know. And like Radio Mama have rightly said, sometimes there need to be clear-cut laws on issues of migration. And she also said history must not be distorted with history must be told the way it is. And like you've said earlier on, if the people don't know their history, they will not know where they are going to. Thank you very much, Radio Mama. And again, she said we need to also emphasize on teaching our native languages. In as much as we have lingua franca in this part of the nation, we use English, some use Yoruba, some use Hausa as their lingua franca. However, it is alright. However, it is very important for you to understand and to know your native dialect or your native language. Hello, good morning. Hello? Alright, we lost that call. Yes, you're on to the program Village Square where we discuss local issues with global perspective. My name is John Red and Joseph is here with me. Okay, we seem to be having a problem with our native, with our phone line. Joseph, can you throw like?
Well, as the matter take be, our two callers who don't take so far don't nail the matter for head as it take be. As a little take talk, good say if you enter one place or the other, identify the people culture. You understand? Respect their culture. No can't say because you come the place, you go step on top their own culture, or you go rubbish their own culture. That's why they say every place where you go, you get people where they there before you.
Yeah.
So you guys understand the way with them they use do things, so that if you go there, you gonna go take work together amicably, so that issues no go there, because they say I no agree. Now they cause hold up for road.
True.
So if you go place, you go to, and then if perhaps you did somewhere and somebody come join on there, you go say you also dey accommodating too, so that now they say when hand wash hand, and they make the two hands they clean. So you go say okay, you go more dey accommodating too. Let's say we get a call.
Alright, we get issue with our phone line.
Okay, why did they resolve them? So if people come our community who suppose they accommodating to them, in as much as themselves also will respect our own cultures, our traditions, our values, and our way of life. It is very, very important. So, but if somebody want try superimposing on a day wahala, they take start. Then in terms of say we could get clear-cut laws, it is very important. But we see say Nigeria na place where we get a lot of laws for Nigeria, but now implementation be the most of our problem for this country. We get another call.
Hello? Alright, please, we want to ask that as you call us, make sure that the volume of your radio set is completely down, or you turn it down completely, and let's get your name and where you're calling us from. If not, we'll be having distortions on this program.
As we take the talk, it could say we could implement most of our laws. Then in terms of indigenous settler problem, that one they cause a lot of problem, because some people go come so say they won't claim indigenship of a particular place. It good. Part of waiting the mama talk the other time we don't talk for the program. We say it good make we teach our children history, so that they go know where would they come from, and then to understand where would they go, no go be problem. Because if you don't understand where they come from, to understand where they go, and it could be big problem. So it good say make we teach our children where would they come from, so that if you go another man community, you know go claim say okay, this place na your own. Yes, we know see all of us na Nigerians will be. You understand? All of us na Nigerians will be.
True.
But you get some certain values. You understand? Some certain cultures, traditions, we say it is local to the people of the place. so that if you enter the place, you understand, you go know as you go take behave for there, so that you no go cause a problem, you no go cause a lot of quarrel. And it is very very important in terms of say our language is very very important. If all of us they talk Oyibo, they talk Oyibo, they talk Oyibo, and we dey give our children names like indigenous names, and they no sabi the indigenous languages, yeah, na 2-0 will be that. E not too good. You get somebody who I meet one day, he call himself saying James Waite himself. That thing I say, now from UK you come from? Because the name na just English name. At the piece, okay, maybe you go even get him own local name, so that at least you go use identify say this person come from so place.
Maybe
You
know
understand?
where you come from.
Maybe he come from Wari, maybe he come from Jos North, or he come from Jos South, or maybe he come from Barikin Ladi or Bokos or Mango, as the case take be. So more they know the names we go they give our children. It is very very important. If we give our children the two names of English, you know, if you be saying Oyibo people, even Oyibo people as we see them themselves get their own culture.
True.
That's why if you go UK, they get a queen, they get queen, and they get queen for there now, Abi.
Yeah.
And so themselves get their own culture for there. So make you not be say we go carry westernization, pafuka our own cultures and tradition.
And Joseph, let me also address something about the philosophy of this program. On the video screen, we are aware that we have a call. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, we're having a trouble with our phone line. I hope they rectify it. Now, one of the philosophy of this program is that we are aware that in a village setting, we have the chief of the village, we have the headmaster, we have the doctor, we have the nurse. All of these people come from different places.
And they make village sweet.
And they make village sweet. We come together so that we can forge a stronger society. And like we've said earlier on, the theme for the this year's celebration is leaving no one behind. We are not leaving anyone behind. That is, this village square or this country is not for one tribe alone. It's not for one race alone. It's for all of us, and all of us must enter the promised land, as we call them. We enter the greater Nigeria together. We are not leaving no one behind. We are not leaving the affiliated people behind. We need to leave Yoruba behind. And we also want to encourage that, please, if you have been listening to this program, we want to please play to your conscience not to be peaceful at all costs. Make sure you do the right thing that will strengthen this village square we have, because you know the world is a global village and we are localizing it here. Now, looking at another issue, we're trying to look at the issue of now security. We are wrapping on the issue of security. Now, as indigenous people, Joseph, we have our local security networks. Then we have the hunters in those days where they go to hunt. Then part of the hunters, we have our warriors that used to protect the people. Then we also have people who will understand signals and send to the chief and other community will mobilize. Okay, this is what we do. This is how to address it. Also, we also have farmers then whose work is to produce farms while other people crops while other people go to war. And we also have people who are fishermen whose work is to go to the rivers and dive in and get us different kinds of fishes. And we're losing that gradually in this modern era. Now, to begin to address the issue of leaving no one behind, for your opinion, how do we begin to work together to see that we synergize with everybody living? I mean, everybody in this part of the society synergizes.
Okay, as I take no, our people they talk say 1 tree no fit form forest.
True.
Now 3 they join 3. That's what they call them forest. Bless you, we get call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Well, we can hear you. What's your name and where you calling from?
My name is John. I'm calling from Plateau.
Glad to have you. Please go ahead.
Well, I'm from Plateau community.
Okay.
And I am Pan by tribe.
Good.
And the way we call our traditional ruler is Long Pan.
Long Pan.
In our place. Yeah. You can identify us by our food. We eat amora. We farm a lot of yam. That's why when you go to companies, they put basket local government of Plateau State. So the Pan people are known for their simple nature and the way we behave. They are very gentle in nature, and we know how to relate with people. We know how to accommodate people.
Interesting. Leaving no one behind.
Yeah. So that's some few things about us.
So can you native
If you
dialect?
greet us for your language,
The only thing that you guys don't know how to answer is
which they go answer.
okay. All is well done.
Or
Yeah. Then you answer, and when I said all, you say Chakava,
Chikaval.
and yeah, say nigga that.
well, that one afresh. You don't
You
speak.
might.
Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Now that's celebrating nativity.
Mm.
And he said he's from Kwampan and they call their chief or the paramount ruler the long pan. I don't know something.
Isabi. Ogaton go village. Isabi very well.
Go in village well.
He go village.
Yes.
He go village. And that what would their advice be that say make parents encourage their children to know their indigenous language and history very very important. If Ogaton no go village, if him pay for they no teacher, me no go sabi now.
True.
So now what we try encourage be that it is very very important. Okay, John, thank you for calling. As we talked before, okay, we get another call. Hello, good morning.
You don't lose that call.
Well, as we talked before, that call being enter, it is very very important to make move the work together as one. Irrespective of who we be or where we come from, or irrespective of where other people.
Hello.
Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello. Play. Hello? Unfortunately, we cannot be able to take that call. Do well to call us back. We have just a few minutes left on this program. We may just bring in just one call. Now, just you were giving your thoughts.
It good say we could stay together as one, irrespective of which culture, language, or tradition be our own. It good say make we work together with other people, because as we talk about that time,
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello?
Hello. We can hear you. Just speak loud and clear. We can hear you. Unfortunately, we can't take that call any.
Everybody will try call us. Na network they do a strong thing. More na no vex. So na we just try. Okay, as we talk, we say 1 tree no go fit form forest. Now 3 they join. Now I think they call forest be that 1 tree join 3, and it good say make we work together for the sake of progress and for the sake of growth. And while working together, make we ensure say we protect our values, our cultures, and our tradition, especially from westernization. It good say make we go school. It good say make we study. But as we study, make we ensure say we sabi our own language, we sabi our own culture. Very important. Culture of respect. Culture of respect for the elders. It is very, very important. And even the scriptural, you understand? All this is join body form who we they call people. So make we no lose our identity. It is very, very important.
All right. Also celebrating World Indigenous People. We as a nation we take cue from other countries, and if you look at other advanced climes, they always tell you country first. So on this indigenous program today, we said Nigeria first, and we are not only saying Nigeria first, but our people should come first. We are not leaving anyone behind. When we put Nigeria first, we'll realize that we are breaking stronger bonds of love and stronger bonds of unity on this village square. Now, I can't leave this program without giving credit to the entire staff of Tech and Peace Desk. Now, I must have to say thank you to the executive producer of this program, Mrs. Helen Philemon Hagai. Kabiru Sabo is the creator. Now, John Red is the producer, and Joseph also is the assistant. There is associate producer of this program. On today, we are saying we are leaving no one behind. So I had a quote before we come in, and I want to read it. It says, "Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you did already." You already did. This is from Newt Gingrich, and I'll take it again. It says, "Perseverance is the hard work you do after you get tired of doing the hard work you already did." This is from Newt Gingrich. As a people, we will not get tired of working hard. And let's again celebrate the indigenous people of Nigeria, indigenous people of Plateau State. My name is John Red. Let's do this again by the grace of God. Same time next week. Goodbye for now.
When it's all been said and done, the village square is where we all belong. It is where our voices are heard. One village, many voices. From the stables of Tech and Peace Desk comes the Village Square radio meeting, supported by Church in Action, Netherlands. Village Square, local issues with global perspectives. Join us on Highland 101.5 FM Jaws every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. Let's meet at the Village Square.
Hey everybody, this is Ryan from One Republic.
Just hits.
Highland FM 101.5.
Our listeners love our station so much that they listen even while sleeping.
I listen to them all the time, even in my